welcome to TRM1 with me, Heather. For today's class, you'll need two things. One, a stretchy band or a TheraBand. And number two, a static band or a rope. So I have two things here. I have a bathrobe tie and a jump rope, but something that doesn't have give like the TheraBand. So we're gonna start sitting on our mat with your legs about as wide as your mat, shoulder width apart. If this feels tight in your hips, you can always roll up your mat or sit on a cushion so your hips are a little bit higher. And we're going to start out with a stretch. So sitting up as nice and tall as you can, the backs of the legs pulling down into your mat, your core nice and engaged, spine neutral. Take your right arm and bring it to the outside of your left foot. Flex your feet. We're trying to go for maximum stretch here. Pull on your foot. At the same time, push your foot into your hand, and you're going to pull as you push out with your leg. So arm is pulling, leg is pushing. If you want to feel more stretch, you can drop your head down. Your spine will round at this point. You're pulling your abdominals in as your spine rounds. Breathe in through your nose and exhale out your air. When you're inhaling, you're breathing into where it feels tight. And as you exhale, you let go of that tension. Good. One more time, in and blow out. Good. Relax your foot. Let go of that leg, and then we're going to go over onto the other side. Take your left arm, reach across your body, hold on to your right foot, flex your foot, so the back of that right leg's pulling down into your mat. Pull on your hand, your hand is pulling your foot is pushing into your hand. And in a stretch, you want to make sure that you can breathe easily here. So abs are pulled in, your spine is round, breathe into where it feels tight. And as you exhale, let all that tension go. Good. And again, breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth. That leg's really engaged. You're pressing out through your heel, pulling on your arm. Good. And let that go. Relax your legs, shake them out a little bit. Now we're going to work with the TheraBand. So taking your TheraBand now and wrapping it around your feet. Open your feet a little bit wider than your shoulders here. And now we're going to work on the shoulder blade mechanics. So here you're feeling your hips heavy, pressing down into the mat, and then organized over top of your hips is your ribs, and on top of your ribs is your head. So you're keeping that natural curvature of your spine. And as you inhale, you're going to fill your lungs with air. And as you exhale, you're going to think of your shoulder blades pulling down your back, and you're squeezing the tips of your shoulder blades as you bring those arms back. And as you inhale, you're going to feel your shoulder blades move away from your spine. And as you exhale, your abs come in on count one, and then you're pulling those shoulder blades down and together. And again, inhale, you release the tension, but not fully. Exhale, squeeze the blades and pull the arms behind you. Good, let's do one more of those. Inhale, start that exhale, pulling the arms. Good, and now let the shoulders release, and we're going to pull the shoulders up, and then as you exhale, pull your shoulders down. Pull them up. And now think about your armpits pulling towards your hips. That's where you're initiating your movement from. We're trying not to let the shoulders either A, drop, or B, pushing them down too tight, because that'll give you too much of a stretch through your neck. We're working the wrong muscles. Let's do that again. Pull up as you breathe in, and exhale, think armpits to hips. Good. Feeling your shoulders pull down and back, so collarbones are wide. So feeling your shoulders stable, what does that mean? It means that the shoulders are pulling away from the ears and the fronts of the shoulders are open, your collarbones are wide. We're going to take this into a row. As you inhale, think of sitting tall. As you exhale, feel your abdominals pull away from your waistband. Once they're in, the spine starts to round. You're counterbalancing your spine going back with your heels reaching forward, similar to that stretch we did in the beginning. Hold here, breathing into your ribs. And as you exhale, pull those abs in and come back up to sitting. Good, we're going to layer on to this. Inhale. Exhale, the abs come in. Once they're in, you roll down. Now let's add a bicep curl here, so palms face the ceiling. Inhale to fill the lungs. Exhale, once the abs are in, bend those elbows. As you inhale, straighten the elbows. The exhale is to pull. One more. And pull. Good, let's hold that. And now turn our knuckles in to face each other. Inhale, we're going to pull the hands apart. Exhale, bring them back together. Pull them apart. You're using your back here to squeeze those shoulder blades. And then let the arms come in. Pull and press. Last one. Good. Breath in. And as you breathe out, come back up to sitting. Let's add on again. Inhale is to get your spine tall. As you breathe out, your abdominals come in, you're rolling back. Try to anchor your waist. Add that bicep curl on your breath out. Hold that. Keep the tension. Turn the knuckles in. Pull the band apart. And now this time we're going to keep the shape of the spine. We're going to go up and over, rounding. And then turn our hands to the back wall and come up to sitting. Let's try that again. We'll roll back first. Bend the arms. Turn them in. Pull them apart. Up and over. And pressing into the straps, come up. We'll put all those moves together now. As you breathe in, sit tall. As you breathe out, feel the abs come in first. Once they're in, roll back. So the spine is round. It's in that capital C shape. On the next breath out, we add the biceps. Keep that tension. Inhale, turn your knuckles in to face each other. As you exhale, you pull your arms apart. We hold here for a breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going up and over your legs. Turn the palms to the back wall and come up to a seated position. You should feel this pretty much all over. Let's do one more of those. You'll breathe in. Your exhale breath takes you back. Next exhale breath, the bicep curls. Inhale is to turn the knuckles in. Exhale, you pull. Check your shoulders here that they're down. You're still pulling on the band. Breathe in to hold. Your exhale, you're coming up and over your legs. Turn the palms to the back wall and come up to your seated position. That's row one. From here, we're going to take this into newspaper. Feeling yourself sitting up tall again, checking there's no tension in your hips. Your abdominals are pulled away from your waistband. Your palms are up now, your thumbs are facing out. Go ahead and pull those shoulders down and back and feel your elbows connected to your ribs. We'll work on the breath out. As you inhale, think of growing taller. As you breathe out, first feel your abs come in. Once you feel your abs in, start to pull your shoulder blades towards your spine. And now think of the back line of your body doing the work to open the arms in the front. Inhale to resist. Exhale. Again, feel the shoulder blades pull into the spine. and then bring those thumbs out. Let's do one more of those. Now we're going to hold that. Keep that. Your shoulders are staying down. Lead up with your thumbs now. Inhale. Think of your blades pulling away from your spine. As you breathe out, pull your arms back into a strong core. Inhale. Lead with your blades. Exhale. Back in. 2 more. Last one. Hold, hold. Think of your shoulder blades sliding down your back as your thumbs come up towards the ceiling. Hold and let that tension go. Nice work. So holding on to the band, you can wrap the band between your index finger and your thumb, kind of making a loop or a strap like we use at Reform. So holding that, breathe in. As you breathe out, once your core is strong, think of pulling your armpits down towards your hips as your thumbs lead out. And as you inhale, resist that tension on your band. Good. And exhale. Pulling the armpits down and then back in. And as you do this work, you're keeping your collarbones wide and your shoulders pulled down your back. Let's try this now with our thumbs pointing down and feel the difference. We're working different muscles here. On your breath out, lead up now with your baby finger and down. And down. Good. We're going to do one more here. We're going to do a chest opener. So wrapping that strap around your hands. Palms face your feet. As you breathe out, pull straight out to the side, feeling your chest open, and then come back in. And back. Your shoulder blades start first. Pull your arms behind you. Feel the pull. And now resist your band as you come in. One more. And release. From here, we're going to go down on our mat. Keep your band with you. Bend your knees. And you're going to open your feet shoulder width apart. And now I'd like you to tie the band around. Once the band is tied, hold on behind your legs. And we're going to roll down one bone at a time. Use that exhale breath to pull your abdominals away from your waistband. And you're trying to get your tailbone down first, anchor it, and then roll away from it. Good. Slide your feet in closer to your body. There's 2 ways that you can do, we're going into glute bridge now. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can keep your arms flat by your side, or if you want to help your back line a little bit, bend your elbows and place the backs of the arms down into your mat. You'll breathe in first to lengthen the spine. As you exhale, you feel your abdominals come in first. Once they're in, start to roll up. Taking the tailbone off first, then rolling through your hips, keeping those abs in nice and tight, lifting up. Squeeze your sits bones together. You want to feel yourself working in your glutes, otherwise you're going to get a cramp in your legs. Now press your knees away from you. Think of pushing the band over your feet. Hold there for an inhale. And as you breathe out, you're going to start to pull your spine back down to the mat, one bone at a time. So we start with our breastbone. We drop it down, and then the mid ribs, then the low ribs, the waist, the hips, your tailbone, and make sure you roll that tailbone away from you. coming back to neutral spine. So you have that arch in the low back. Let's do that again. As you breathe out, pull your abs in. This time I'm going to ask you to press out a little bit more into that band. Keep that and start to come up. I'd like you to check that the mound of your big toe is pushing down into the mat, so you're still able to push out on the band while keeping your big toe down on the mat. Press the knees away from you. We'll hold at the top for an inhale. And as you exhale, starting to pull that spine down, keeping the big toe mound down, keeping the pressure on the band. Let's take one more like that. Inhale to prepare. As you breathe out, you feel your abdominals pull in. Now you start to curl your hips. Once the hips are up, feel your glutes engaged. Feel the backs of the legs, your hamstrings engaged. And again, if you're shaking or you're getting a cramp, use the backs of the arms to push down as you press your pelvis up. Now we're going to hold here. So as you keep the big toe mounds down, keep the pressure on the outside of the band, we're going to press out, feeling the muscles on the outsides of the legs pressing the band. Here you're checking that your hips are not dropping, the weight isn't shifted into your head, it's still going that way over your feet. We're pressing out little pulses. Good. Lift up just a little bit more. And now let's come all the way down. And now we're going to add on to that. So if you're finding that this is too much, just continue to roll through the spine back in that shoulder bridge. Here's the third variation, a little bit harder. Big toe mound down. On your exhale, you're coming up, pressing into the band, keeping the big toe mound down. Now here, without your hips moving, you're going to roll the weight into the front of the right foot so your right heel lifts, and then pull it down. And then press up through your left foot, pull it down. All the while you've got pressure on the band. Let's do one more on each side. Lift the right and down, the left and down. Feel the pressure pushing out on the band. The big toe is staying down. Your weight is going over your knees. We're going to lift our arms up. And now we're going to bring them over our head. So hold here for a breath. And as you breathe out, now you're going to keep your arms over your head and you're going to pull your spine down slowly, which gives you a really good stretch through your arms. Float those arms back up. Now let's keep them here. Pull your shoulder blades down and back. Feel your hands reaching up to the ceiling, keeping them here as we come up now. Hold here. Now we're going to get a little bit tricky. We're going to create a routine. We're going to bring our bum halfway down as our arms come out to a T. And then we're going to lift the bum up as those arms come up. Let's do that again. Lower halfway. Press your hips up. And again. One more. Hold your hips up. Let's take those arms over our head again. Check that the shoulders are down. Still have weight under your big toe. And on your exhale breath, your spine comes down. The arms float up. And now we're going to untie our band. And we're going to use it for some leg work. We're going to start out with frog. So taking the band now and placing it on your arches. Bring your heels together. We're looking for that neutral spine again. So your tailbone is rolled out. You've got your natural arch under you. The ribs are dropped. Chin and forehead are in the same plane. Creating a little bit of pressure on your band. So you're holding your band. Knees are directly over your hips. We're going to work on the breath out. As you inhale, prepare. As you breathe out, push into your band to straighten those legs. And inhale, resist as you bring the knees over the hips, stopping there. As you exhale, your abs come in first, and the legs reach away. Okay. So you can challenge yourself here by bringing your legs lower. What you want to watch out for, though, is that your back isn't arching when you lower your legs. So find a place that's challenging, and let's do that again. Inhale, bend, stopping at 90. Start your exhale breath first, and press your legs out. And bend, and press. It's a 4-count tempo. Let's do a couple more. Bend. Feel your abs working really hard as you straighten those legs away from you. The further out they go, the harder the abs have to work. Let's do one more. Bend and bring them out. Here we're going to hold our legs straight, turning your legs into parallel now. Take a hold of the band with both arms, so you've got one hand over the other. As you breathe in, allow your legs to float up to the ceiling as much as you can to feel a stretch, but not to let your back lift off, so that tailbone's anchored down. Inhale as you reach the legs down, checking that the low ribs are not lifting up. Now start your exhale breath and resist your legs coming back up. You're resisting with your abs. Inhale, lower the legs away from a strong core. As you start to exhale, your abdominals come in and the legs come up to the ceiling. Let's do it again. Inhale down and exhale up. Now let's make it a little harder. Turn your big toes together, your heels are apart. Relax through your hips. So the leg is internally rotated inside your hip joint. Think of the heels reaching to the side walls. Inhale to lower the legs. Start your breath out. And lift the legs up and down. And up. Last one, we hold this one. Let's do an inverted frog. Bend the knees. Reach them away. This should not hurt in the front of your hip. Bend. As you bend, you're thinking of a nice crease through the front of the hip. Blow out. One more. Bend the knees. The left foot's going to come out. We're going to work single legs here. So you've got the band around your right foot. Two options here. It's a little bit easier to keep your knee bent, so you can have your knee bent here. Or if you want to challenge yourself, reach that left leg down to the floor. Here the goal is for you not to rock side to side when you move the leg. You can flex your foot or point your foot, doesn't matter. We're going to cross the leg over the midline of the body. As you breathe out, you're pulling the leg down, pulling it back out to the side, and bringing it up. So it looks like this. Cross. You're watching that the opposite hip does not roll off with the leg, so you're anchoring back through that hip. And then when you come out to the side here, how far you go depends on, does the opposite hip roll off with you? If that happens, then just keep the circle nice and small. The goal of this is just to move the leg inside the hip joint. So you're relaxed in the joint. The leg is working, the core is working to keep the hip down, but the hip inside the hip itself, you're relaxed, you're not tensing in there. So we'll do 10 on each side. Bend your knee. Take your foot out of the strap. Bend both knees. Roll yourself over to one side. Use your arms to push yourself up to sitting. Let's do one more stretch together. Bring your feet together, the soles of your feet. Take your hands, hold on to your ankles. Here you're going to try and press your knees down into the mat as you lift yourself up through your chest. Trying to pull the knees down to your mat. Good. Undo that stretch. Last one to finish together. Feet are wider than your shoulders. Bring one knee down, cross it over, and bring it up. So windshield wipering the legs. Wipering, is that a word? And down. Thank you for working with me today. I hope that you feel taller and your joints feel more open from doing this class. See you next time. Bye.